Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Stavanger Sola in beautiful Norway. This is the latest release from Ironsim Studios, and we're going to be taking a look at it in this video. So first of all, a big thank you to Ironsim Studios for giving me the opportunity to fly their Stavanger and also to show it to you in this video. I don't normally fly into places like this. You probably noticed from the channel I tend to fly into much smaller places, and you might consider this to be a tube liner airport, which again is something that I don't tend to cover, but actually there's a very strong helicopter presence here. There are even some there's a Sea King search and rescue squadron based here. There's also a lot of offshore helicopter activity here, so I would definitely consider this for helicopter operations, and I would definitely also consider this for flying in with the Phenom 300 or Phenom 300 if you're on the other side of the pond. And also it's in Norway, and Norway is just a stunning, beautiful country. And as you'll see, because we're going to take a flight from here in the immediate area, it really is a lovely place to fly and very much recommended. I love Norway. I love Norwegians. I love the way they pronounce their language, which I cannot do myself. Even the word Stavanger, if you listen to someone from Norway pronounce it, it's like music from my lips. It sounds like some kind of a sandwich that you'd buy from a hut somewhere along a motorway. So what have Ironsim Studios done? Really, they've recreated Stavanger Sola on Norway's southwest coast, focusing on airline operations, offshore helicopter activity, realistic aprons and ground markings, terminal buildings, airport clutter, night lighting, PBR textures, and optimizing performance. Now, Stavanger is Norway's third largest city, and it's probably no coincidence that Stavanger Sola is Norway's third busiest airport. And as I said, the Royal Norwegian Air Force operate the Sea King search and rescue squadron out of here as well. So it really is a multi-role airport. As quite often is the way in this neck of the woods, you'll find the military next to civilian using the same runways. It's going to be an interesting base and an interesting destination to fly to. I love flying from Sunborough over to Norway. Usually fly to Bergen, but I'll certainly be flying here as well. And also for flying helicopters out to the rigs, all that kind of good stuff. And at the end of the day, this is all about immersion. I know some people don't necessarily believe, why am I interested in having a sign recreated accurately? Why am I interested in seeing cows on the wall? In photorealistic realism? Well, it's quite simple. It's all about immersion, and I'd love to know if you know Stavanger Airport yourself, if you work here, if you've flown through here, if you fly out of here. I'd love to know what you think of this scenery. Does this bring you back to the place that you know? Do you feel at home? Do you recognize it? Because I think it's always interesting to see what people think. I'm talking about the immersion side of it. It's much more than just a flight simulator. It's a atmosphere simulator. It's a world simulator. And I don't know about you, but places that I do know, that I am familiar with, I love having them in the sim, and I love having them in a realistic way. And especially if you do real world flying out of places like this and you do want to do it in the sim, then it's kind of important that it's accurate and it does feel very much at home. But for me, I've never been here. I've never been to Norway. I just love the place. I kind of have a feeling that Ironsim have recreated this airport well. Looking at it, you can see the detail. I think they've got a really good balance between not going over the top with the detail and making it frame friendly, and having enough detail in there so that there's interesting things to look at. There's a realistic world to explore, and you can fly in here and see some superb night lighting and details that make it realistic. And as you know, especially if you follow the channel, by the way, we do have a Discord link down below. If you do follow the channel, you know that I tend to go for smaller aerodromes, but recently, especially with the Phenom 300, I am expanding into larger airports. and I just think this is going to be perfect for that. Beautifully atmospheric. I love this hangar where the Sea Kings are based. It's got a really nice old feel about it. When a certain Sea King does appear in the sim, I'll definitely be using that. But today, I'm really pleased to be flying the Spitfire. I'm a little bit out of practice, which is half the reason why I wanted to fly it. But also, this, of course, is a very special Spitfire. This is the Norwegian Spitfire Foundation PL258 FNK. A beautiful repaint here by Sproul. It's a gorgeous looking Spitfire, and lovely to be able to fly this repaint here in Norway, because after all that's where she's based, and it's always great to be able to honour the guys who flew, of course, in World War II in these aircraft. Spitfire's a wonderful aeroplane. I am rusty as hell, so this might be entertaining for you in ways that I hadn't imagined. But anyway, let's climb in, let's get going. Well, here we are, and what a gorgeous place to be. I always love being in the Spitfire. Like I said, I've not flown it in a while. It's a crime. I should be flying it all the time. When the 2024 version comes out, this of course is the Flying Iron 2020 version. When the 2024 version comes out, I'm going to be flying that a heck of a lot. I just know it. But in the meantime, it's good once in a while to keep your hand in. And I spend so much time in helicopters these days, and GA aircraft, that sometimes I just need to remind myself that I do need to fly warbirds, and especially the Spitfire, because I love it so much. Anyway, right, let's have just a quick look, just check all my physical controls are working, because sometimes they can do funny things. There we go, that's good. You can see the old little switch there is working. We can close that, and I have to remember that is what latches it and not that which is what opens it. So that's a good place to start. Okay, so as we know, in the 2020 version, the animation on the wobble pump isn't working. So we have to go click, 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 click. There we go, until the light comes out. I thought I'd spare you the rest of the clicks. Not required. Right, let's prime. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back, click spot. 5, 6, 7. Giving it 1 extra, and let's see how we go. It's relatively warm today, so hopefully she'll fire with what we primed her with then. But we will find out now. Ooh, get it right. Beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. Everything's looking good. Happy with that. I'm going to open the radiator flap now, and also let's get the fuel pump on, and we'll have the pitot heat on as well. Why on earth not? Okay, everything else is looking okay. We'll just let her warm up a little bit, although she's actually already there really. It's so warm today that the temperatures are pretty good as they are for us to start moving. So let me just have a look at the trusty map. We're going to be using runway 28. I'm not going to hang about because Spitfires do love to overheat. So let's come off the parking brake. Let's just quickly check the brakes. Brakes are good. And the first thing I need to do is to tune into taxiing and using the differential brake in the Spit, which can sometimes be a bit aggressive, but so far feels okay. Famous last words. And of course, with this dirty great big long nose, we need to keep an eye on where we're going by judicious use of track IR and a few S-turns once in a while. So we're just going to cross the runway here, but I haven't got AI on and I haven't got multiplayer on, so I don't need to worry about anything banging in, but I will just have a quick look. It's always good to be on the safe side. Don't want any nasty surprises. Do love this bit. So we're coming up to the runway here. Let's have another look. Nothing coming in. Put the stick back. Keep the old tail down and we'll scoot across. There's the runway, another quick check, nothing happening. Ever so light on the pedals with a little touch of differential braking once in a while, but otherwise she's rolling quite nicely. Quick check of the temperatures, they're okay, but we want to get into the air soon. And we are not a million miles from the threshold of 2.8 now. Quick look over there at the airport. So yeah, we'll do a we'll take off. We'll do a quick look at the airport from above, and then we'll head off and see what the local area is like. I tend to find that you get a really interesting mix of buildings in this neck of the woods, and I can kind of see some over there. You get some colourful roofs, churches and all that kind of stuff. Really is nice to look at. Okay, coming up to the active, another quick check, nothing there. Big nose pointing that way. Okay, let's get some nose down trim. When the I'll tell you when we get in the air. It's a bit boring to talk about now. Right, stick back into the right. Let's have some power. Let's get ready on the rudder. Gear up. Let's there we go. The speed's good, and we'll come right back on the RPM now. Need to treat it with respect. Just look at that elliptical wing over that beautiful scenery. Everything's looking good. Let's come around and have a look at the airport. Yes, trim on takeoff. When they first released this bit, it was a nose down trim on takeoff. I think since they've had some advice from the BBMF, who like to use nose up trim on takeoff, so I think they might have changed change the manual, but some pilots, especially nowadays, they like to use a bit of nose up trim on takeoff rather than nose down trim, which is what you tend to see a lot in the old manuals. And that's enough said on the rather boring subject of which kind of elevator trim should you have on takeoff. But there you go, Stavanger. Great having the opportunity of these runway directions. Interesting horseshoe shape there. I presume that's from the old military days and it's some kind of blast proofing, or maybe somewhere for engine testing. If you know, I'd love to know. I did Google it, but I couldn't see anything that was obvious. There's some nice area there for some offshore helicopter operations. There's a lot of engineering goes on here, especially helicopter engineering. It really is an area of excellence for all that good stuff. So there you go. Right, let's head off and have a look at the local area a little bit. Let's go back and take a closer look at the city. You see the buildings there, lovely little buildings, colourful roofs. It's a great area to play because there's so much interesting scenery and lovely little scenes. And got hills, fjords, you've got everything, and really is nice to explore in the Spit. It is good to be back in the Spitfire. Whenever I get back in the Spitfire, I always kind of think to myself, why don't I fly this all the time? Can't wait to see what the 2024 version is like. Breaking a few rules here. Over the centre now. Got an interesting structure up here which is worth a closer look at. Okay, I thought it might be some kind of monument, but it's not, it's just a telecoms tower, so there you go. I thought that was going to be more interesting than it actually was. This is a hospital down here. So presumably if I ever do some HEMS flying out of here, we'll certainly be having a look at that. And here's interesting. See what I'm talking about with the colours? Colours of the buildings are fascinating. And the detail here in the sim is really nice. Okay, it's time to head into the mountains, I think. I see a boat and instantly I feel like I want to land a helicopter on it, but we're not going to be trying that in the Spit today. That would be, well, that would just be silly, wouldn't it? I think they'd get a bit of a shock if a Spitfire tried to land on their deck. Absolutely gorgeous scenery. Got quite a few videos from Norway on the channel now. Also done a few group flights in the past on the Discord based up in Norway. It's just such an interesting area to fly in. There's always somewhere to explore. It never gets boring, and I love the little detail. Like down there, the little lakes and the buildings around there. Again, if you know the channel, you know I love the Highlands of Scotland, and it's that same kind of really interesting terrain. Okay, let's get down in amongst it. Check everything, everything's looking fine. I can come back a little bit on the RPM. Not too much, we're not necessarily cruising. We'll need to look at that. Wow, just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Flight sim can be such a lovely way to relax, wind down at the end of the day after work and all that kind of thing. Put yourself in a completely different world and just chill out. So we're going to need some beans now because we're going to be climbing. So I'm just going to put the RPM up a little bit. Come over the top. This is a great area to explore with a helicopter. All these places up here you can come and land, and of course if you've got the parallel 42 go fish, you can do spotted fishing while you're at it. This sim is so good at giving us something like a realistic world. When you look into a valley like that, you see the fields and the buildings, and just never ceases to blow me away. Just heading into a little bit of cloud there, so let's drop down a tad. Really is dramatic landscape, isn't it? Okay, let's come back now. We don't need to climb so much, so we'll just calm back on the power. Calm everything down. Quick look down here, everything's looking good. Just amazing. Just coming back on the power a little bit now. Can afford to take it nice and easy now for a little while anyway. For those of you who are interested to know, probably not many of you, we are in, I think it's our 4th heat wave in the UK at the moment, and the temperature in my sim room, because I have to close the window, I have to close the door so that I don't scare the neighbours or annoy my beautiful wife. The temperature in this room is now 38.5 degrees. Of course, being in the UK, we don't tend to have air conditioning in a normal dwelling, but the way climate change is going, I think we might have to start rethinking that, especially if you're into flight simming and you have a rig that churns out never-ending heat, because this is a little bonkers. Okay, just a slight climb coming out of there, and then we're coming across the top here, but again, not going bonkers with the power, not doing aerobatics. We lost a bit of speed in that manoeuvre, but it doesn't matter. We're just having a nice relaxed flight in this wonderful terrain. I'd love to know in the comments, by the way, let me know, where do you like to go flying? What's your favourite spot? What's your favourite terrain? I'm always looking for new ideas. I spend a lot of time flying in Scotland and come to Norway once in a while, also the USA, but I'd love to know, where are your favourite spots to fly? Just keep out of the way of the wind farm here. That would be embarrassing to prang into that. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Landing. Taking off in the Spitfire isn't too difficult, and wafting around like this isn't really difficult at all, but landing is another matter. And I have found that as time has gone on, and maybe it's just because I don't fly it as much as I used to. I used to be able to land the Spit anywhere I wanted, anyhow I wanted. These days it's not the same, and things don't always go to plan. And I don't know how much of that is me being rusty and how much of that is that this is an old 2020 version, and maybe changes in 2024 have changed the behaviour a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to blame the aircraft. I'm more inclined to blame myself for getting a little bit rusty. But of course we have to remember you need to do a nice curved approach, because that big nose, you can't do a great long approach straight in, because you lose visibility, and you've got to get everything sorted out. You've got to get the speed, the height, all that kind of stuff, the attitude, so many things to consider to get a nice landing in. So no pressure, hey. Exciting prospect getting another Spitfire, isn't it? And being flying iron, you know it's going to be a good one. Really interested to see what new things they've done, what changes they've made. I've seen people commenting that they're already testing, so hopefully it's not too far off. But in the meantime, this will more than suffice. Even though it's old, this 2020 version still hits the spot. Okay, so there's the airport over there. So we'll do a run in and brake, and then I shall attempt a landing. Quick look at everything. Looking okay. Just going to adjust my head tracking a moment. There we go, that's better. Tipping in. the RPM a little bit. Okay, let's do it. So, tip up, RPM forward, let's open the canopy, check of the temps, not bad. I've got the radiator on open. Thought I might have put it back onto automatic, but I think I've left it on open. Okay, quick check. Let's dangle the Dunlops. On the speed. If I don't like the look of it, I will do a go around. Punish myself with the shame. Keeping the runway in view. Let's have the flappage, which is more like a dirty big speed brake. Over a little bit to the left, which is unnecessary. Let's kill the flap. Great big nose, blocking our view a little bit. Is right back, and I'm going to see if I can. Not quite. Yep, no, we can do it. I just wanted to scoot off here. We're going to pretend that we're an airliner and getting close to the airport. Just make sure we're not going to bang into anything. That really would be embarrassing. want to get too close to the airliners. We're in a Spitfire, for heaven's sake. We've got to have some modicum of pride. And as we're in the Norwegian Spitfire Foundation we are going to park right here under the sign because we can. Let's not bang into a jetway. Okay, and let's spin it round. There we go, that'll do. Okay, parking brake on. Let's give it a little bit of welly just to clear everything. Okay. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that flight. I certainly did. Never get bored flying this Spit, and a nice place to fly it out of. Stavanger is multi-purpose, multi-role. Plenty of different kinds of flying you can do here, even tube liners if you want to. But yeah, interesting one. Very interesting location. I hope I've given you a flavour of the surrounding area, so that you can get a good impression of where you can fly. But yeah, I love it. Who doesn't love Norway? Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.